Hey, and welcome to another video. Today, I just want to talk about how amazing Toyota and Lexus are doing in the sports car realm. Of course, you've got to start with Lexus, especially with the IS500. This car is probably one of the most underrated vehicles that are out today for how good it looks, and it has a V8 engine. In this video, I'm not going to bring up how much they cost new or their spec sheet because that really doesn't matter. They're still a sports car and they're still something you can buy and they exist. Considering just how good looking this vehicle is and knowing that Lexus for some weird reason never maintains their price point, or they just get stuck at a certain price that's still achievable for most people to afford, yes, maybe 5-10 years down the road, but it still has Lexus reliability and it's still a Lexus. But if you're like me and you love cars with two doors, let me introduce you to the RCF Track Edition 500, otherwise known here in Australia as the RCRC Track Edition. This also comes in just the normal RC 500 edition. So if you don't want all the carbon and wings, then you don't have to get that. But this is still such an underrated sports car. It's still just an underrated car. It's got a 5-liter V8 engine in it. Lexus didn't need to make this car, but they did. And it's a car you can buy today. It's on my dream car list. This is the car that I would buy if I knew that I could make it on YouTube. It's not because this car would bring me in millions of views, it's because this car to me is the pinnacle of success. I feel like owning a Lexus would be bringing in that super niche community that love cars but also love Lexus, because they understand that Lexus is a car brand that are there because Toyota want to build, well, sports cars but also cars for the greater community. And the best way you can tell that Lexus is doing this is because you have the Lexus LC500. This is probably the end game car for me. If I ever could afford one of these vehicles, I would probably send this car to the moon. I would modify it to death and I would definitely make it a track vehicle. Because let's face it, if I ever have that kind of money to afford this vehicle, I'm going to do stupid things and try and get away with it. Because what's the point of having something nice if you can't do something stupid with it? I feel like Lexus right now are really doing amazing things with their vehicles, and I feel like the community behind Lexus understand what Toyota is trying to do with these platforms. It just does suck that more people aren't buying these cars because they do have that niche small understanding in the communities. But Lexus still has a huge community behind it. But of course, not every community can get behind every car, because, well, the Toyota Supra exists. This car, to me, is amazing. It's stunning, it looks great, it does have quirks, and it does have problems. But at the end of the day, I don't care because the car exists. It's here. Am I upset that the 4-cylinder doesn't get sold in Australia? Yes. Does this car look a little bit better with body kits? Yes. Is this a driver-focused vehicle? Yes. Is this a car that Toyota said we'll dare to make this, even though we don't know there's going to be a market for it? Yes. Did they have to team up with BMW to make it? Yes, they did. This car still exists. This is another sports car that Toyota came out with, and they're like, hey, you know what? We have to team up with BMW, and people didn't like that. It didn't have the engine everyone wanted it to have. Everyone wanted a new 2JZ or a 3JZ or whatever variant that we could have called it, but not everything can live up to that engine. Hence why I'm upset that Japan was like, you know what, the Australians won't buy the 4-cylinder engine. I would have, because I would have replaced the engine in that thing and I would have put a Honda K20 in it just to make everyone mad, and it would have been beautiful. It would have been the best thing ever. But sadly, these cars new in Australia are $100,000, and quite literally I can't afford that. So I'm going to have to wait for a second-hand car, or I can get the next sports car that they make on this list. Because let's face it, this is everyone's car they love to hate. The Toyota 86. I will say this for this car, and I think I've said it in other videos before as well. This car really did bring back the love of JDM vehicles and modifying cars. I don't think anyone can really disagree with me there, because once this car came back out in 2013, I feel like car culture and car communities really came out and were like, okay, this is going to be the new platform that younger generations can work on and actually afford. And that's where I feel like Toyota and Lexus are going right now. I feel like they're actually building communities and understanding that the people that want to buy their vehicles are the car culture and car enthusiasts that really do love their name brands and will keep coming back for more. But it's also amazing to see that Toyota knows that the aftermarket scene is something that they need to go after as well, because it doesn't matter if you need to buy a new car or a used car. Toyota has that understanding that the aftermarket scene and car community, yes, we're niche, yes, we're small, but they do need that for their brand to survive. But it's also amazing to see that Toyota will understand that people will buy their vehicles because they like the look of them and then put crazy engines into these vehicles because they don't like the engine that's in it. What I think people need to understand is you can like the car but hate the engine, because you can't replace the car but you can replace the engine. But you have to admit that Toyota and Lexus really aren't stopping anytime soon, because they've literally got rumors of bringing back the Toyota Celica MR2. Don't get me started on the name. Apparently it's going to be the Celica M MR2 together. Apparently the rumors are one's going to be a two-door coupe and the next one's going to be a two-door Spider. They also have more rumored vehicles coming out in the sports line division, such as the rumored LFA. Sadly, this is only rumored to have a twin-turbo V8 making 760 horsepower, but again, this car's still coming and it's going to be absolutely amazing. And there's even more rumored facelifts and upgrades to not only the Toyota 86 but other vehicles in Toyota's lineup. So let me know in the comments below, do you guys feel like Toyota's actually finally coming out with some new and interesting sports cars, or you just feel like that it's going to be waiting another 5 to 10 years for you to be able to afford a sports car that you maybe will be able to have one day? But let me know in the comments below, do you feel like there's other car brands that are bringing out some more exciting, well, sports cars than Lexus and Toyota? But thank you all for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. I'll catch you all in the next one.